Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the main roster on Twitch Sports. As always, I'm Dan, joined by Jeremy. How are you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, this seems to be my mission in life now to crack you up with dancing to the opening theme, and so that you can't actually do the opening properly.
Yeah, you always seem to do it.
Yeah, nobody else gets to see it. Obviously, you're the only person that gets to see my groove into the music. But
we should video it one day, so then we can
do.
put out a little. This is what happens.
Yeah, it's almost like when after we finished, I regaled you with my impression of the old SmackDown theme.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I recorded that. Yeah. I don't know where I put it though, but I did record that when I went into freestyle SmackDown theme. That was an amusing evening.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think I was drinking that night, but there you
go. Yeah, you were.
Yeah. Silly, really. But here we are. Yeah. Yes, welcome to the main roster, episode 65, discussing everything that's happened in WWE in the last week. And it has to be said, I'm not sure it's going to take us very long.
No, it's not at all.
Because it hasn't really been, the most jam-packed week of action. Don't get me wrong, there has been some cool stuff that's happened, but especially when we talk about Monday Night Raw, there's been a lot of the same or filler.
Yeah. And lacking.
I'm really hoping that when we get back in front of a crowd that it turns up, because how long are people actually going to go, oh yay, we can go back and see live events, and oh actually I don't really want to because it's dull and nothing's happening. So they've got to be treading water, not wanting to give things away. Some things that they did give away on television don't really make sense to me, but we'll get into that.
No.
Shall we crack on with
last week's crack
SmackDown?
On. Yeah.
So Bianca Belair came to the ring to hype WWE's return to live touring, as well as her mixed tag team match coming up later. One of her opponents in the match, Seth Rollins, made his way into the Thunderdome and tried to join Bianca's celebratory mood, but he soon took to insulting the SmackDown Women's Champion, calling her Hell in a Cell victory a fluke. Bayley made her way to the ring and joined in with Seth's name calling until Bianca Belair punched her in the face. A fight broke out between the two ladies. Cesaro came to join the fun, and the good guys were left standing in the middle of the ring when the chaos cooled off. On the other side of a commercial, their mixed tag team match got underway. Despite no contact being allowed between the men and the women, Seth Rollins' distraction of Belair allowed Bayley to hit the Rose Plant and pick up a win over the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
I do have one question for you.
Go for it.
Did you know until this very moment that Bayley's finisher was called the Rose Plant?
No.
I had to Google it. As I'm sat there watching SmackDown, typing the notes, and I'm like, and Bayley hit her finisher. No, I can't put that. I'm going to have to find out what this is called. What is Bayley's finisher? Rose Plant. That front DDT that she does.
Yeah. Yeah. The one that seems like it's a lot of effort to set up.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like put them in a hammerlock, isn't it? And then...
Yeah, so put them in a hammerlock, get the leg round...
Go around like that.
Get their arm around the back of your leg, then hold them by your knee, and then slam them down looking like you're slamming your face into the mat yourself.
Yeah. Surely Jeff Jarrett's old finisher, which is basically just like hold their arm across your front, put your hand on the back of their head, and just kind of front trip them forward. Yeah. Surely that would be more effective and easier to do. But...
It would be much easier.
Yeah. I mean, what else is she gonna do? I guess.
I guess it looks more realistic than the Bayley to belly as a finisher.
Yeah, belly to belly suplex doesn't really do
it's
it.
Not
as
really
a finisher, does it?
Finisher sort of thing, does it?
No, unless you're a gigantic person.
Yes.
In which case, that's fine. But No,
Yeah.
if you are a woman of average size and strength, then well, probably above average strength, but in terms of the rest of the women of WWE, probably average strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a mixed tag team match.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
It was alright. I quite like the duo of Seth Rollins and Bayley. They're quite
they bounce
funny
off each
together.
other really well.
Yeah, they're quite funny together. And the way they kind of just laugh at everything is sort of entertaining, I guess.
Yeah. It's Bayley's cackle and Seth Rollins' maniacal, holier than thou laugh, just bouncing back and forth off each other. Yeah, no, I dig that. I dig it. So it seems that we're going back into Cesaro and Seth once again for Money in the Bank, are we?
Again.
I mean, we don't have the entrance for Money in the Bank on the SmackDown side completely set.
No.
There's room for one of them to get in there, I think.
I'd love it if Cesaro did it.
Yeah, just so that your prediction comes true and you win the whole event without having to actually predict any matches.
Yeah. No, that was for the Becky Lynch prediction.
Oh yeah, that was for the Becky Lynch, wasn't it? Yeah. No, I'm trying.
Still hoping for that.
I'm trying to give you the win. Apparently, I'm just giving away victories.
You want me to keep this?
I really don't. I'd quite like it back. Yeah. I am. I'm winning the effing racing show competition at the moment.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've gone on a Dan-like comeback tear. I started with nothing. Obviously, that's how starting works. Yeah. And then went 4 straight to overtake Duff, who's
there you go.
So
you need to get a trophy.
My time is now, and
as John Cena's entrance.
My time is now. Money in the Bank and SummerSlam takes me to the finish line, and I get my baby back.
No, you won't.
And I think we've thoroughly, in more detail than I was ever expecting, discussed this opening.
We went more on a tangent.
Shall we move on to the next SmackDown segment?
So SmackDown's qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank match got underway this past Friday, starting with Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews taking on... I can't say that word. Perennial, that's it. Rival Big E. With the match well underway, Commander Aziz tried to get involved, but when he was caught by the referee, Aziz was ejected from ringside. Crews tried to capitalise on this distraction by rolling up Big E, but he kicked out, hit the big ending, and pins the Intercontinental Champion to book his ticket to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I must admit, I wrote this segment for me, and then I shuffled around all of the paragraphs. So Perennial was not put in there for you to say.
Perennial.
It was put in there for me to say. Yeah.
Perennial as in over here.
Forever. Over and over again.
That one.
Over and over again, +1. Yes. And I guess we can't have the Intercontinental Championship match that we've been having over and over and over and over and over again, because Big E is now... Well, I suppose we could have Big E in 2 matches, but...
Yeah, but we're not going to.
No, it's more likely we just won't have an Intercontinental Championship match.
Or they'll do it on the SmackDown before.
That could be it. Yeah,
because what you said, where Fox has to have a championship match. So
yeah,
that's possible.
I can't really think of what else they could have. They're not going to do the women's match.
No, or the Universal Championship.
No, so it is probably. I think it's probably time it's Intercontinental, but that will be the very first show back in front of a crowd, so it'll be good to have some kind of hype match there.
Yes, absolutely.
Still don't think it'll be Big E though.
No, maybe Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn.
Yeah, or both.
Both.
Although one of them are going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh yeah.
They have a last man standing match this coming Friday.
Yeah.
And the winner of that match will go on to Money in the Bank. So whoever doesn't win that, I think, will probably get an Intercontinental Championship match. And I can see Sami Zayn getting in the ladder match rather than Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
But I what I did like about this was how Aziz was ejected right at the very last moment of this match. It's like, and you're out of here, and the match is over. You can come back if you want. It's okay. The match is finished now. I know you haven't quite made it to the back yet, but it's fine. You can come on back down.
It's all right now. It's all right. Come on.
And I like Big E being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. His first Money in the Bank
first
ladder
ever
match.
one. Yeah.
I think he might be the only one to have not been in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Has Apollo Crews been in one? I know Kofi obviously has. I think he was in the first one.
Apollo Crews. I want to say Apollo Crews has.
Yeah, I mean, he's not in it now, but I was talking about from the New Day.
From the New Day.
Yeah.
I'm
going to Google it.
Can't
Money
remember.
in the Bank.
Google it.
Apollo Crews. I want to say no, he hasn't. Why have I typed Apollo Crews? That's not who I said Apollo Crews, didn't I? Xavier Woods.
Yeah, you said Apollo Crews.
I'm trying to say.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
I don't think he has.
I don't think he has either. Nothing has jumped out in that Google search, so okay.
Oh, there you
then
go.
It'll just be him, not in the, not having been in the Money in the Bank ladder match then. And
cool.
So that was the men's qualifier on SmackDown. We also had women's qualifiers.
Yeah. So the women's side of the qualifying matches, Sonya Deville came to the ring to name the first entrant rather than have them qualify. Deville had picked Carmella, her wrinkly sheets, to enter the match, but Liv Morgan took exception to this and came to the ring to point out that she beat Carmella last week and was therefore more deserving of the place. In response to this, Sonya booked a match between Carmella and Morgan, and if Liv won, she would qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Despite being trash talked and slapped throughout the match, Morgan was able to pick up the win over the 2 times Money in the Bank winner and booked her place in the ladder match.
I still don't really get Sonya Deville.
You don't get Sonya Deville?
No. In her role as whatever she is. I'm not understanding why she gets away with doing this stuff. And why
she gets away with murder.
Yeah. And Adam Pearce has gone from, calling her on it and going, grrr, and not much else, to just going, oh, that's what we're doing.
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I'm fine with Carmella being in the ladder match.
Yeah.
Hell, she had to be. There are literally only 4 women left on the brand, other than the 2 that are in the championship match. So that's fine. I think this mini kind of rivalry is doing wonders for Liv Morgan. It's good to see her get some singles competition. Now that neither of her kind of teammates, tag partners are in the company anymore. Yeah.
Which is a shame.
I'll be interested to see what she does come Money in the Bank in the match, because she is a bit of a risk taker.
Yeah, she can do a little hippie around and all that, can't she? So
yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. And the women's Money in the Bank ladder match has named the majority of the entrants. I think there's one place left. Raw's all done. We've got Naomi, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Ash for Raw. And then we've got Carmella, Liv Morgan, Oh no, we got 2 on
Two.
SmackDown.
2 then. The hell's going to fill them?
I was just about to ask you that question. I was going to put you on the spot and say, and who left on the roster can take that?
I don't know.
I really don't know if there are any other women on the roster. That merits another Google. SmackDown roster. List of WWE personnel. SmackDown female wrestlers. Okay, so technically, Natalia and Tamina are SmackDown.
Yeah.
So them, or at least one of them.
Right.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah, she could return.
And that's it. Unless you count, Mia Yim, who hasn't even debuted for the brand yet.
Yeah, she's not really done much, has she?
No.
Yeah.
And I think it's because Keith's not there.
Oh.
And I don't know what the deal is with him at the moment.
He's got a serious injury or something.
Yeah. I used to like when we knew what was going on with these guys and what the injury was.
You want to know what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I just
Madman.
want to know when reasonably we can expect him back. And I suppose that's the point. They want to make the return a surprise, but they're also terrible at doing surprises. So let's just go back to the way it was, where we'd know when people were coming back, and then the surprise would be fine, rather than we don't know and the surprise is rubbish.
Yeah.
That would be much better for me, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be... I think Sasha will probably be back for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would go so far as to say they won't name the last entrant in the match until either the SmackDown before or at the actual event.
Or it could be Becky.
It could be Becky. They may not name either of the last spots.
It could be Sasha and Becky.
It could be Sasha and Becky. Yeah, it could.
Oh, yes.
I think they should name someone into the spot, and then have them be taken out backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the thing where it's like looking at them like training backstage.
But yeah, just they're doing that.
Their music hits, and all of a sudden you just see an elbow go bam in the back of the head. They go down, and then the music hits. Whoa! Yeah, that was
the smoke and everything. Yeah. Okay.
I bet they're not going to do a special stage for Money in the Bank. It's still going to be their generic.
What it'll just be their generic one with a couple of ladders.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be.
And a briefcase, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Okay. So the reason that I moved around the paragraphs a little bit is because the rest of SmackDown focused around the champion and Jimmy Uso and all of that, and it kind of needed to all go together. So here we go. A little swig of the beverage and deep breath.
Swiggy, swiggy. Breathe in.
And the upcoming State of the Universal Championship address loomed over the show last Friday night on SmackDown. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman started the show from their locker room. Heyman told the tribal chief that they were done with the Mysterios and that they had acknowledged him from their hospital beds. I'm sure they did. They just sat up, acknowledged him, and went back to sleep again. I'm sure that's exactly how it worked. This brought Jimmy Uso into the room, who informed his cousin that Jey Uso would not be there once again tonight, but that Jimmy would fill his shoes and be his right-hand man for the night. Reigns doubted Jimmy's ability to do what Jey does and invited him to prove it. Later in the night, Jimmy Uso took on Dolph Ziggler to try and prove that he could handle things on his own. After successfully taking Ziggler's partner Robert Roode out of the equation, Uso received a zigzag on the steel steps, injuring his ribs. Jimmy rallied, however, and was able to eventually defeat Dolph Ziggler with a superkick. Immediately following the match, with Jimmy told to stay backstage, Roman Reigns made his way to the ring for his State of the Universal Championship address. Paul Heyman took the mic first and listed all of the tribal chiefs' former victims, most of whom no longer work for the company, before going on to say there's nobody left and that Reigns had no choice to... But before Roman could speak, Edge's music hit, and out came the Rated R Superstar. Edge beat down Reigns and was set to deliver a concerto until Jimmy Uso jumped him. Edge took care of him too, spearing him through the barricade, but Reigns escaped. Edge stood in the ring, shouting at the head of the table through the camera as SmackDown went off the air.
Yeah.
So, there are two things here. One of them is cringe, and the other is why. I don't understand why they have brought Edge back without the crowd.
Yeah.
That's number one. I think that's a real dumb move. If anything, it should have been Reigns and Heyman spent weeks saying, there's no one left to face me. There's no one left to face me. I'm not defending my championship at Money in the Bank because there's no one left to face me. Tell you what, I'll come out to the ring, and if anybody wants to face me at Money in the Bank, from the SmackDown roster, they can do it. Just come on down. I'll be in the ring waiting for you. And they just tease it. And then Edge comes out to a raucous ovation rather than trying to overhype the fact that, oh my God, he's here. And everyone's so excited in the Thunderdome. It's like, no. Even if they are excited, you don't know that. They're in their own homes. And the screens don't really do it justice. You've wasted an opportunity to have a major reaction.
Major pop.
In your first show back. So that's that. The other thing, which is the cringe thing, is that as Edge was stood in the ring shouting at the camera, and he asked, "Where are you, Roman?" He was literally there. He was
literally at the top of the ramp.
He was at the top of the ramp. He's like, "Where are you, Roman?" Like, Edge, I'm begging you, just look right. Just turn right. You'll find him. He can hear you. You're shouting so loud, he can definitely hear you. That was cringe.
I saw that. I was like, Jesus Christ. No.
And I don't know. I assume that is bad producer work. And that was always the plan for Edge to say that. But Reigns didn't book out of there quick enough, or the cameraman or the producer pressing the buttons of to which camera to go to did not switch away from them quick enough. Yeah. Probably a combination of the two. Yeah. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It was not good at all.
But other than those, two negative things, good. Good to have Edge back. Good to have a credible opponent for Reigns at Money in the Bank. I, feel for the first time that Edge has a chance of winning this match. Roman's opponent has an actual chance of winning, which hasn't been the case for a while.
Yeah.
We've gone into several matches now where it's like, no, we know that Roman's retaining.
Yeah. But I think every match that we predicted for him, it's been, who's winning? Roman.
Yeah. No, it has. Ever since he won the championship, it's always been, no, Roman Reigns. That's been the prediction every time. And it's been the consistent, nailed it prediction from both of us. So I'm going to think twice for Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
I think.
I am as well, actually. Yeah.
Back in front of people, in front of a crowd. Maybe get that moment that they didn't want to give Edge at WrestleMania and begin another championship reign. Because, it's kind of a WrestleMania style moment to win the belt and take it into SummerSlam.
Yeah.
In front of a WrestleMania style crowd in
is indeed.
Is it Allegiant Stadium that it's called? The Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. But it's got a big capacity.
Yeah.
How big? How many seats does it have? That's what I want to know. Because you can add another 30,000 to it. Let's have a look. The capacity for football, American football, is 65,000.
Wow.
And it says expandable to 72,000.
Oh, okay.
So that's 72,000 people you can fit in there with a football field in there.
Okay.
Which is 100 yards by 53 yards, if it's the same as college. So you take most of that away, put the ring in the middle. Okay, the stage takes up a fair bit. But you can fit another 20,000 people in there, I think.
Yeah.
So we could
if they're going to be restricted in numbers, though, because of social distance and all that.
I don't think they are. No.
They're not.
America are, like, way ahead is the wrong terminology, because they're in the same place as us in terms of amount of people vaccinated and all that kind of stuff, and the numbers of cases still. But they've gone kind of back to business as usual in their sports.
Okay.
I've been watching them Major League Baseball, and they've got full stadiums now again.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. What else have they got? They haven't really got any big stadium sports going yet. Like, it's off season for the NFL, so there's none of that. And then everything else is small arena, basketball, hockey. So baseball is probably the biggest. Yeah. And baseball rarely sells out anyway, so it's not the biggest example.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a good question, but I don't think there are any restrictions.
Okay.
Not now. None of it's been government mandated in the States, you see. It's been state by state.
I see.
And Nevada is relaxed. They just want people to turn up and gamble, basically.
Don't care.
Get some money back into the town.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh.
So I would say a minimum of the football capacity of 72,000 in there.
Okay.
Wonderful super spreader event.
Brilliant.
72,000 people there to catch COVID and watch Edge win the Universal Championship, probably, maybe.
Good.
50-50 chance of either of those things happening. And on that wonderful note, we're going to take our commercial break. And when we return, we've got news of further releases of talent from WWE. And we'll get into this week's Raw. That probably won't take us very long. See you in 2. Welcome back to the main roster. We're on episode 65, Daniel.
I know.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mental.
Well, we've reached the length of time in doing this show now that every now and again on my Facebook memories it pops back up that this is the show we did last year and
Oh god,
that kind of thing, because we were still at this point last year we were still simulcasting and putting it everywhere. So we were doing Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We even did Mixer until they shut that thing down.
Jesus Christ.
And Twitter. So.
Oh my god,
yeah.
That's way back.
It is way back. Yeah. But
way back.
We're exclusive to Twitch now.
Yes.
And there are acorns to play with.
Running around.
And you can turn them into wrestlers, holding microphones, that kind of thing. But this year, right now, this past week, the releases of talent from WWE continued. This time, they really focused on NXT, their development branch, and 205 Live, their really development branch, standard cruiserweight failing thing. Apparently, they only keep 205 Live around because Hulu pay them hella money for them to have it. So the moment that contract with Hulu runs out, they'll probably drop 205 Live like a bad habit.
It would disappear.
But on the chopping block this time, and I can't say there are many surprising names on this list. Tino Sabatelli hasn't been on TV good 2 or 3 years. I didn't even know he was still there. I thought he was gone.
He is now.
They think he's gone. He is now. Arya Davari.
Yeah.
He was pretty much the only person still on 205 Live from the beginning. He's gone. Likewise, Tony Nese. They've been kind of waiting to be released for a long time. I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did, to be frank.
Yeah.
This one's kind of surprising. Everrise.
Yeah. They're like relatively new.
Yeah, they're relatively new. They've been having their Everrise Live program for a good 3 or 4 months now. It's been quite popular, like a YouTube show.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to do some kind of big angle on NXT this week, and obviously that's not going to happen now. So that's the end of that. These ones are surprising, especially the latter, because of what he did in developmental. He was basically a free coach and mentor for people in NXT. Fandango and Tyler Breezango.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't just bring them back up to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, take this with a pinch of salt. This list of people were among the higher paid people in NXT.
Okay.
And that would make sense for Breeze and Fandango because obviously they were called up at one point and probably had main roster contracts that they were still honouring in NXT. Likewise, Davari and Tony Nese were probably given Raw contracts because that's where the Cruiserweight division was supposed to be when they were signed. Singh brothers, next on the list, they probably had main roster contracts as well.
Yeah.
Continuing down, August Gray, who was young, had only been there a cup of coffee and hadn't really had a chance to do anything on NXT. He'd just been on 205 Live. Likewise, Kurt Stallion hadn't managed to get off 205 Live yet and be on the main NXT show. Marina Shafir, also known as Roderick Strong's wife, who just made his return to NXT last week.
Yeah.
They released Jessamine Duke in the last round of cuts, so I guess this one was only a matter of time. Ronda Rousey announced today that she is expecting child.
Yeah.
So she's not going to be coming back anytime soon. So I think they realised that the dream of the MMA Four Horsewomen versus the WWE's Four Horsewomen was never going to happen. So
it's gone.
Cut
It's
losses, and it would have been crap anyway. Like, with all due respect to Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, they were wonderful MMA fighters, but they're terrible wrestlers.
Yeah.
And if Marina Shafir can't learn to wrestle from her husband Roderick Strong, then she can't learn, to be honest.
Who can she learn from?
Last two on the list. Killian Dane.
Yeah.
Good, because
Nikki Cross's husband.
I can't keep looking at his hairy back on television. I just can't. Good riddance to that. And Arturo Ruas, best known for Raw Underground.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Raw Underground, Dan?
That thing.
Yeah, it lasted about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, the thing that was basically like a nightclub.
Yeah, a nightclub, fight club type thing.
That had Commander Aziz called Babatunde.
Yes, and it had Omos as the bouncer.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. No, Arturo Ruas was supposed to get a push after they nixed Raw Underground, but he got injured, and that never came to be. So he is gone. So those are the people that are gone from WWE. But to follow up on the last round of releases and what we discussed, Samoa Joe is back in NXT.
Yeah.
This week in an interview stated that Triple H pretty much called him the day that he was released from his WWE contract and said, like, we're bringing you back to NXT if you'll come.
Yeah.
And I think it confirms everything that I speculated about Samoa Joe's release, in that he cannot currently wrestle. He has some kind of injury that is preventing him from wrestling, and they did not want to pay him wrestler money to be a commentator.
Yeah.
And so by releasing him, he's probably taken a massive pay cut to go to NXT.
Yeah.
He might even just be on a manager's or like backstage personnel contract rather than a talent contract.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's good for Samoa Joe. If he can't wrestle, then there's no point going anywhere else. There honestly isn't.
There isn't.
If he can wrestle, then sure, go to AEW, go back to Japan, go to Impact, wherever. But no.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Samoa Joe on my screen doing what he's doing, being William Regal's personal enforcer, than not on TV at all, because he's just such a personality, you know.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I like Samoa Joe.
And then my last bit of news, rumour. Basically done Dan's dirt sheet for you this week, haven't I? Cheers. I didn't check if you had any dirt sheet, but
no.
I did have a look around the dirt sheets, and there wasn't much. But the only kind of news rumour that stuck out to me is that apparently Vince McMahon is heading down to the Performance Center in NXT this week to scout for talent.
Is he now?
To bring up to the main roster.
Is he now?
So, we're going to throw out away from the competition, we're going to throw out a prediction.
Okay.
Who from NXT are we going to see on WWE main roster programming, Raw, SmackDown, by SummerSlam?
Tough one. I'm going to throw it out there. Tommaso Ciampa.
You think Tommaso Ciampa? Interesting. They tried that before with Ciampa and Gargano, and they didn't really mesh well with Vince's style, and at that point basically said, no, we're never leaving NXT and NXT for life. So I don't think Ciampa. I think Vince is going to throw a spanner in the works and make things really awkward and say, Triple H, I want Karrion Kross.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dad. But he's our champion, so no. It's like, damn it.
Aaron,
I
don't you
want
know who
Karrion
I am?
Kross. Okay, right. Fine. I guess Karrion Kross defends the NXT Championship against someone at Great American Bash and drops it then. Thanks, Vince. Cheers. Thanks for booking things for us. Go away
Finn
now.
Balor.
And that's the other person I think might be brought back. As much as
Yeah,
he'll
that's
hate
a
it
good
and he
one.
doesn't want to, I
Yeah.
think it's time for Finn Balor to come back up to the main roster. If he's not coming back up to the main roster, what's the point in him being in WWE anymore? They might as well just let him go.
Yeah. Well, he's
Right.
basically in NXT to make people watch NXT.
And they don't care about that anymore because they're not going head to head with AEW anymore.
Exactly.
So, no. He served his purpose. He had another reign in NXT. He put butts in seats through the... I say put butts in seats. He put eyes on screens during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But no, it's time for him to come back up to SmackDown. That's what I think. So those are my two. Karrion Kross and Finn Balor.
Yeah. I'm going to go for... who did I say? Asa Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
And... I'm going to go for... I don't know.
Put you on the spot,
Thinking
didn't I?
Yeah, I'm thinking of some of like the female superstars as well now.
Yeah, I mean, I've got two females in mind that I think are coming up.
Yeah, I'm thinking because they're a tag team, I'm going to put them in there as one. Is Shotzi and Ember?
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I think they're both
Shotzi
coming up.
and Ember Moon. Yeah.
So that there's actually some women on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And
I won't be surprised, to be honest, if Dakota Kai came up.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many women who are ready to come up in NXT. I think Raquel Gonzalez needs to stay down there and be champion for a bit longer. I don't think she's ready for the main roster, but pretty much everyone else is. I think Io Shirai needs to come up.
Yep.
And there's not much more she can do in NXT.
No.
We need to get Io Shirai back in a rivalry with Shayna Baszler again. That would be glorious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, watch this space. Who will Vince bring up, whether they want to or not? We will follow the story as it develops.
Sorted. Right. Are we bump this first to Raw?
If we must, yeah, I suppose. I mean, this show is the main roster. We've kind of got to discuss it, haven't we? As much as we wanted to talk about NXT.
Let's get it done. So last week on Raw, we started to get qualifications for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. First, Ricochet defeated AJ Styles thanks to distractions by the Viking Raiders. John Morrison beat Randy Orton because of a dripstick war at ringside, and Riddle defeated Drew McIntyre to continue the terrible weekend he was having. At the end of the night, it was announced that the losers of these matches would compete in a second chance triple threat match this week to complete the Raw side of the match. Right.
Great, yeah. I like that they went in for the qualification matches rather than just naming people. That's that's good. But this last chance triple threat, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, why?
So that you can have your limited roster do the same thing 2 weeks in a row. Basically, that's the reason for that.
But you can see what's going to happen. Marloff. Because of who won the triple threat later on.
Yeah, well, we'll save that discussion for then.
Yeah,
it won't take us very long to get there.
Right.
But cool, yeah. I did kind of like what they did next, though, with the the last chance triple threat match. So let's crack into that. And this week, Monday Night Raw got underway with the announcement that Randy Orton would not be able to compete in tonight's last chance triple threat match, and that a battle royal would take place immediately to determine the third entrant for the match. Kind of negates the name Last Chance, but okay, fine, bear with. Before it could begin, Riddle delivered a letter from Randy Orton to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, suggesting that Riddle should take Orton's place in the match instead. Deville instead placed Riddle in the Battle Royal, and if Riddle were to win, he would be allowed to represent Randy in the triple threat. Cool, works for me. There were several chaotic moments in the Battle Royal, including the 24/7 championship going from Akira Tozawa, who knew he was the champion? We couldn't say who the champion was last week. From him to Drew Gulak, to R-Truth, and then back to Tozawa. Also during the contest, Omos, who was not in the match, eliminated the War Viking Machine Raider experience and beat them up with the barricade. Cool. The match eventually came down to Riddle and Damian Priest, and after the original Bro was able to toss the Archer of Infamy over the rope, Riddle insisted Randy Orton's music was played, and he celebrated like he was the Viper, pyro and all.
Yeah.
If you're going to just throw time fillers at me, I'm kind of good with this.
Yeah, it was alright, wasn't it?
It at least furthers the Riddle and Randy Orton story without just repeating the same thing of, hey, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Locking the mouth away and that kind of thing. It's already starting to get a bit stale.
Like when Riddle was doing the pose on the rope and the fireworks went off and he actually literally jumped.
Yeah.
He was like,
It's like, oh yeah, Randy's got a pyro. Yeah, cool. No, I enjoyed all that, and I just think it was a good way to start the show. I don't think there is anything wrong with Randy Orton. I think this was just a kayfabe way of doing something fun with Riddle, and fine, cool. If they had no intention of having Randy Orton qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match, then what difference did it make whether he was in the triple threat or not? You know?
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah. Pop quiz.
Okay.
How many times now, recognised by WWE, has R-Truth been 24/7 champion?
Oh, I don't know, about 20 billion.
No, give me an actual number, come on. Give me a guess.
I'm going to go for 55.
Did you look it up?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the actual number is slightly lower, but you're not too far away.
Or is it like 54?
Okay, a lot slightly lower.
Like 53.
Then again.
52.
Yeah, 52 times 24/7 champion.
Time. Jesus Christ.
It's just so unnecessary. I don't even know what, why, in a kind of suspension of disbelief kind of way, why would any of these guys care about the 24/7 championship? Because the idea of a championship is that by being the champion, you get extra money and kudos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not going to pro-rata it in your time as 24/7 champion. So having a reign for like 2.5 seconds isn't going to make a blind bit of difference to your paycheck. So why would you care about being 24/7 champion? It's just...
I don't know.
Without the weapons, it's just pointless. It's a waste of time.
I don't know.
And it's only these 3 people that ever go for it.
No, there's nobody new.
I thought they released
Just
Drew Gulak.
released.
I forgot he was even still there.
Yeah, he's still mooching around.
He must be like the last surviving member of that original cruiserweight roster, surely. And Tozawa as well. He was there at the beginning.
Yeah, I think he is.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my highlights of that opening
It's your
segment.
highlight of Raw. Let's
Well, yeah.
move on,
pretty
shall
much.
we?
Yeah, let's move on.
On to see a person that's a personal highlight for me. Last week on Raw, the odd couple team of former women's tag team champions Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, now dressed in garish blue and yellow superhero attire, defeated Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax in a tag team match to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. This week on Raw, Baszler looked to avenge that loss in a one-on-one match with Nikki Cross, now known as Nikki ASH, Ash, almost superhero. Ash was holding her own against Shayna when Alexa Bliss came out to the stage. When she moved to ringside, she took out both Jax and Reggie, and that distraction took Baszler off her game again, allowing Nikki Ash to pick up another win.
I don't know if we dropped this knowledge last week, but apparently this whole superhero shtick is Nikki Cross's idea, and she's the brains behind it. It wasn't a nonsense thing thrust upon her by Vince or the creative team. Apparently this is all her.
You know what I was highly expecting to hear when she came out this week?
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through.
There's a hurricane coming through. Yeah, that. Dun, 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 dun.
Wait for it. I think he still works for WWE as like a road agent or something.
We know that.
Yeah. No, if this is still a thing come January, we're going to have a Nikki Ash and Mighty Molly stare down in the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, probably.
And the crowd will go mild. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about this segment is how beautifully did Alexa Bliss take out Nia Jax and Reginald at the same time.
It was perfect. Yeah.
It was very good.
Absolutely a highlight, yeah. I'm looking forward to... She's obviously been practicing this kind of weird, kind of contortion-y Cirque du Soleil kind of stuff that she's been doing. I'm looking forward to see what she does with a ladder, and I'm hoping she just kind of bat hangs down from a ladder at some point and does creepy, yet slightly alluring stuff like that.
You know, I'll be watching. I'll let you know.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah... I kind of like Shayna in this role of, like, she just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for her to... She needs to drop Nia and Reggie and just move on for herself, and then we'll be all good. But yeah, nothing more to say about this segment, really.
Yeah.
Cracking on again. Yeah. I saved the best women's segment for you, you'll notice. That's coming up next. But right now, and last week on Raw, in the aftermath of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, Kofi Kingston was named the #1 contender to the WWE Championship, and the champion, Bobby Lashley, wasted no time in sending a message to his challenger when the Almighty systematically destroyed Xavier Woods inside Hell in a Cell. This week, Kofi Kingston had a conversation with Lashley's associate, MVP, and Kingston suggested to MVP that Lashley might be getting soft. When Kofi was WWE Champion, he took the title around the world to be an inspiration, and never took any days off, unlike Lashley, who was on vacation last night. And then Kofi, for good measure, laid out MVP for the lols.
Yeah. Because why not?
Because why not? Yeah. It fills time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I did like the Kofi kind of passion and promo.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen that from him since he was WWE Champion, really. He seemed quite happy to be pushed back into his, New Day comic role rather than the more serious guy that he was when he was champion. But much like any of Roman Reigns' opponents in the last 6 months, this is a filler, and we're not getting Kofi Kingston as WWE Champion again.
Not at all.
So, yeah, kind of don't waste my time.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
Cool. Should we move on?
Yeah. I know you've been dying to get to this bit, so, you know.
Well, the sooner we get it, the sooner it's just done. So, in another Money in the Bank qualifying tag team match last week on Raw, Naomi and Asuka defeated Eva Marie and Doudrop. After Doudrop,
who was that?
Doudrop.
Oh,
Doudrop. After Doudrop dropped off the apron and refused to tag Eva Marie. This week, without the Money in the Bank spots on the line, a rematch took place. This week, Eva tried to ditch Doudrop. The Scotswoman was able to win the match anyway. Eva Marie claimed the victory all to herself, though. Obviously.
I think.
What the hell?
That you should drink every time one of us says Doudrop.
How many's that? That was like 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be wasted.
You will, yeah.
Why can't they just call her by her proper name?
Well, I can explain that, kind of.
Go on, then.
The reason is that, you know, Eva Marie in her kind of, you know, inspirational role that they're trying to pretend that she's doing is actually taking everything away from the person she's mentoring, including their actual name.
Because it's when they did the interview where she introduced her as Doudrop.
Mm-hmm. Drinks.
You could see her going, Piper Niven. It's like, and she said that name.
Yeah. No. I did know earlier what the meaning of Doudrop was, and it was quite a good name. In terms of using it for somebody else. No, I don't want it spelt properly. Can't see it now. No. I'm pretty sure it said it somewhere like on Urban Dictionary or something. There was an actual definition for this word, and it fit.
Oh, right.
And it fit the character that they've given her. But then somebody went into the Urban Dictionary and renamed it to what you call Piper Niven when you haven't got any other name to call her. So that's
good.
Vandalized. Yeah. I think, funnily enough, this is just a vehicle to give Piper Niven a push eventually, and it won't be very long before she's Piper Niven and she beats up Eva Marie, and then into obscurity on the Raw roster she goes. Piper Niven and
like
also
else.
Eva Marie. Yeah. Eva Marie's picked up where she left off, basically.
In the toilet.
3 years ago.
In the toilet, basically.
And you do look thirsty, so before I move on to the next segment, I'm just going to say Doudrop. And while you're having a drink, I'll move on. And after Jackson Riker spent the last fortnight having conversations with people while whipping himself, he finally took on Elias in a strap match this week on Raw. Much as everyone expected, Riker dominated Elias and picked up an easy victory and a measure of revenge over the man that he used to walk with.
Right.
Thanks. Great. Why has Elias changed his music to not him?
I don't know.
I thought they're playing the wrong music. Do they know they're playing the wrong music? Somebody should tell them they're playing the wrong music. And then they went to commercial, came back from commercial, and they were still playing. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they're not playing the wrong music. Maybe they're deliberately playing this not Elias theme song, and it's his new music.
Yeah, maybe.
Dear.
Yeah.
Elias is done, isn't he? He's never getting anything more out of his career. He'll be on the next round of releases, probably.
Yeah, probably.
He hasn't even had a mid-card championship yet. Has he
Even
even
though
been tag
Jackson
team
Riker
champion?
should have been. No, he hasn't. Has he?
So he's
No.
so he's done nothing.
No. Yeah, he's done nothing.
24/7 champion. That's it.
Been 24/7 champion. Why has Jackson Riker not been released after all the stuff he did?
Because Vince has still got a fetish for muscly, beardy men, apparently.
Vince McMahon likes big sweaty man. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty man. There you go.
Where did that come from?
That's off another YouTube channel.
Oh, is it? Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, that's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah.
I hope they keep up this Jackson Riker whipping himself backstage while he talks to people. That's the only thing I can say about that. And we'll move on to the main event, if you can call it that. The last match of the show. There you go.
That. In Raw's last match of the show, it was the last chance triple threat match between Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, and Riddle Orton. It wasn't long after the start of a match that the action spilled to the ringside, and McIntyre attempted to put Styles through the commentary table, but this was broken up by Riddle, and instead Drew found himself eating turnbuckle and being tossed through by a double team from both of his opponents. The match continued on steadily until Riddle hurt his foot kicking the ring steps, and he was escorted backstage. The match continued as a one-on-one match between Styles and McIntyre for a while until Riddle returned to the ring with a bandaged foot and ankle, because broken feet can be fixed like that. Riddle looked set to win the match after hitting the RKO on Styles, but after Omos pulled Styles out of the ring, McIntyre came in with a Claymore out of nowhere and pinned Riddle to join the field of the 8 in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
I made you do too many Doudrop drinks, didn't I? And you've got burps now.
Got bubbles. Got bubbles.
I could hear it in your voice as you were reading then. I liked the match. It was one of the better triple threat matches. I don't like triple threat matches. At least they didn't just do the turn taking thing too much. And they took Riddle out for a while and made it one-on-one. But now we can talk about it. Drew McIntyre's winning Money in the Bank, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Oh, damn it.
He's the new Roman Reigns.
Yeah. When he first started this journey, I was all for him. He defeated Brock Lesnar. Great. Go for it. But now he's just been shoved down our throats so many times. I've had enough.
I'm not digging this storytelling thing he's doing in promo backstage either. It was fine the first time when he told the story about, a legendary Scottish figure in Robert the Bruce, but then Drew, just shut up, mate. Just
shut up.
It's not entertaining anymore.
Just stop it. Shut up.
Yeah.
On with it. Well done.
So, wins Money in the Bank, takes it to SmackDown. I guess.
Yeah. Or WWE just do WWE and just forget about the whole can't challenge for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, or they make an exception.
Would actually. Yeah.
You can do it if it's Money in the Bank because it's not an official match. You can do it to whoever he wants, but whatever. Or
somebody will beat Bobby Lashley, and then that second he'll come down, beat that person.
Like Brock Lesnar, possibly.
Like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Man, this is setting up to be a thrilling SummerSlam, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hope that they've got some stuff in the bag that they're holding back from us, and then as soon as we're back in front of a crowd, we go on an upward trajectory and up and away. But I don't see it. They still don't have enough diverse talent on their roster to do anything like that. So I'm not
They
holding
don't
my
at all.
breath. I am not holding my breath. And they've booked a UK tour, but they're not doing any television. So forget
They're not going.
It's not happening yet. I'll go and see Raw and SmackDown, but I'm not going to see a house show. After all this time, I'm not going to go and see a house show of guys that you left hanging on and released everyone else. It's not the way I'm rolling, to be honest. And as we begin to close out our show today, we, in the same way we have done a few times in the last month, 2 months, we're going to leave the main roster for next week because things are a bit slow, and we're going to come back to the main roster in a fortnight and preview the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with everything that happens between now and then. So next week it's the retro roster, the long-awaited return of the retro roster from 2 weeks ago, and we're going to go back into the 90s because we haven't actually retroed the 90s.
No.
We've done the 80s, we've done the 2000s, we've done the 2010s, we've done the I think we did the 1890s actually. No, not quite. It was the 1900s, wasn't it? It wasn't the 1890s.
It was 1900s. Yeah, it was 1900s.
So yeah, we're going to do the 90s. We're going to go all the way back to 1995. We're going to do a double. In Your House 1, In Your House 2, because they were short.
Yeah.
So join us next week. Same Jez channel, same Jez time, 8:30 PM UK for the retro roster. The first 2 In Your House pay-per-views from WWE.
Yeah. Lovely.
Got to be better than Raw was.
Be better than at the moment.
It's got to be. It just has to be.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the end of our show for this week. I'm going to begin the music and play you out. I'm going to find someone to raid, so stay tuned for that. See where we end up tonight. And we'll see you next week on the retro roster. I've been Jez.
And I've been Dan.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.